What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Today is Wednesday, May 31st, the last day of May. We are now under 100 days from the NFL season, and Washington entered day 2 of the second week of OTAs, the OTAs portion of the offseason, where they got helmets on, practice jerseys on. They're getting after it a little bit. There's no hitting. Or last year we got after it too much and we lost a week of OTAs because of it. So we don't want our guys being too physical. There was even an incident in practice today where it got Randy Jordan's juice pumping. Brian Robinson caught a swing pass up the sideline and almost had a head-up collision with the praying mantis Slim Reaper himself, Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State, the rookie that has been turning heads. And it was going to be the main topic of today's video. OTAs today. Ron talked to the media. Terry talked to the media. Curtis, Sam, a little bit of everybody touched base with the media today. And I want to start this video off by giving a round of applause for the Washington Commanders for finally having stable internet connection when the coach has a damn press conference. We could hear him fine. The graphics were like an 8K resolution. There was a graphic on the bottom of the screen that said Washington Commanders head coach Ron Rivera. Look at us. Look at us moving like a professional organization. I know the bar is that low where I got to sit here and applaud things like that. But listen, we've come a long way, and we've come a long way fast. Just a couple weeks ago, we couldn't run a press conference introducing an offensive coordinator without the stream dying. We had a stable connection through Ron's whole press conference. Ron gave us the usual. He talked a lot about Kendall Fuller, about how Kendall Fuller is one of the more intelligent guys on the entire defense, and how he has no plans of Kendall Fuller being in the slot at any point. So pencil in Kendall Fuller starting cornerback on the outside on this team. And the Swiss Army knife of the cornerback room is the rookie, the kid you're looking at right now, Emmanuel Forbes. They're working him not exclusively on the inside, but a lot on the inside. They're working him there most of the time. He's seeing at practice, and boy, did he have a day today. They got him mixing it up with the big boys, going one-on-one, mano-a-mano with Jahan Dotson and with Terry McLaurin. He got a pass breakup on both of them, and I'm not sure if he was the one that tipped it. Our new linebacker, Cody Barton, that we signed out of Seattle, starter next to Jamin Davis, he caught a pick off a cornerback deflection. It was either St. Juice, Fuller, or Forbes, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's Forbes, because Forbes gets his hands over everything. The guy just finds the football. He's a ball hound, ball hawk. The instincts are out of this world, and this guy is everywhere. And I love to hear him giving smoke and giving some bump to our receivers, because they need that. Our receiving room is like that. So if he can handle that type of bump in practice, we know what we're going to be getting when we come on the field. And they're testing the guy. Forbes, there's 3 names that I hear a lot coming out of Washington, or coming out of Ashburn today. Forbes, Sam Howell, and the tight end wonder. The boy wonder's back. Aquaman, Cole Turner. Training camp, Cole is back. Cole World. The first 2 weeks of camp last year, he lit it on fire. He looked like the bona fide tight end one before getting tackled low and being hampered with lingering lower body extremity injuries for the duration of the season. I want to see what this guy can do healthy. They said Howell hit him up the sideline for a beautiful 30-yard pass during 7-on-7s. And the media, they've been clamoring for this guy. They've been talking about him. And I wanted to say, hey, thank the Lord we weren't in a full contact practice when Brian Robinson almost had a collision with Forbes, because I want no parts of seeing that collision. These are both my players. Let somebody else's player be the one that Forbes goes head up with. I don't need to see Brian Robinson built like a fucking tank running into the praying mantis, Grim Reaper, Slim Reaper, Emmanuel Forbes in practice. That would be a mess we don't want to see. And I'm glad that they pulled up, and I'm glad that was not a collision. Save it for camp, but when it comes to Forbes, just stay away from that guy. I don't need to see that. But Sam hit Cole on a beautiful touchdown up the sidelines on Khaleke Hudson, and the quarterbacks had an up and down session, but the theme of camp has been Sam Howell's growth. Sam spoke to the media today. He said he took the time this offseason to study Kansas City's plays and to study Patrick Mahomes' feet. Remember yesterday we talked about Sam Howell's feet? Not in the way you're thinking of. We're talking about football. Get your head out of the gutter. Sam Howell's feet, man, they're fast. They get to the point quick, and he gets through his process very efficiently. He said he studies Mahomes drop. He studied Mahomes and the Chiefs drops and how they do things there. That gets me juiced up. They're trying to test the guy's maturity. They're trying to see how thorough he's calling this wordy ass West Coast offense where the vernacular has 16, 17 word play calls where you got to call out the formation. You got to call out the routes. You got to call out the alignment and all this shit in the huddle. So Washington's actually doing something cutting edge, something innovative. They have a mic in the quarterback's helmet. They have him mic'd up at practice, not a game. We're talking about practice. They have Sam Howell mic'd up at practice. So when they go in the film room and they have their meetings, he can listen to not only him, but the coaches. They can listen to just how thorough he's getting the plays out, how smoothly he's regurgitating the play call from Eric Bieniemy to the rest of the guys. Does he know what he's calling? Does he have to ask for help from the veterans? How confident does he sound? According to Ron Rivera, the kid is surprisingly very comfortable with it. Sam is just like, man, I speak football, bro. It's all the same shit, different language, man. It's all the same dialect, man. It's a little bit different. But Curtis Samuel spoke on how wordy the offense is. Terry spoke on how wordy the offense is. Everybody's speaking of how wordy it is, but how detail-oriented and intense Eric Bieniemy has been the main storyline in camp so far. Quan Martin was the one who deflected the pass from Sam Howell, and Barton was right there to spot it and secure the ball and some celebration with the teammates. Howell's connection with Dotson could be fun to watch. They said during red zone drills, the two connected on a pass to the end zone with Dotson holding on to the ball despite a hard fall. Don't want to hear about that hard fall with no pads and shit on, but he got up and he was just fine. Casimir Allen, the undrafted boy wonder free agent receiver out of UCLA, he's dealing with a hamstring injury, which is not something I want to hear, but let's hope that that's something that is slight and just a precaution, and they're kind of holding him back a little bit because they got a plan for him because – yeah, you know how them hamstrings go. You remember D-Jax fuck up his hamstring. We don't see that motherfucker at week 6 of the season. So those soft tissue injuries, they're very weird to predict, and they linger. They linger. And, man, but I'm just excited to hear about Howell and Forbes. Howell, Forbes, and Turner, 3 young guys whose success directly contributes to how good we can be this year. The starting quarterback, either the 1A or 1B tight end, and the playmaker in the cornerback room. We got 2 solid guys in Fuller and St. Juste, but Forbes, they didn't bring him here to be a solid guy. They brought him here to be a gambler, to throw his dice on the table and go get the football, to sniff the football, find the football, and go get it. And this grasshopper-built motherfucker has been getting after it in practice so far. We've literally heard his name in on multiple things, and like my guy Louis T brought up in his video earlier, we don't want to take things too etched in stone from what we see in a practice before June. But last year, the momentum started for Derek Forrest. He got his shit going. We heard his name all over OTAs and then in training camp, and that momentum carried on to the season. He led the team in turnovers last year. He had 4 interceptions, broke out, and solidified a role for the foreseeable future for this defense, a Jack Del Rio defense that was top 3 in a lot of statistical categories last year. They get that boy 99 back healthy this year. Knocks on wood, as I say, is that he better be at minicamp next week, mandatory minicamp. The only 3 guys that haven't been to OTAs is Montez Sweat, Chase Young, and Charles Leno. Well, Sweat showed up for a day or 2 at least, but he didn't participate. But 99 does his own thing. I don't know where Charles Leno is, but Charles Leno played in the Kansas City offense under Matt Nagy when he was in Chicago, so that's not a concern. But next week, that's when things become alarming and become a little bit concerning when it comes to attendance, because mandatory minicamp is between June 6th and June 8th of next week. Tomorrow's the last day of this OTA section, the last full 3-day OTA session this team has, because like I said, we were docked a couple OTAs due to a little bit too much try-hard syndrome at OTAs last year. I believe Reeves smacked Diami coming across the middle or some shit like it, and it happened to be the day an NFLPA rep was there, so they docked us a day of practice. But Forbes, as advertised still, how ups and downs, but according to John Keim and Matthew Paris and Ben Standing, the ups are beautiful. They say this guy's ups look absolutely right, and they may have him something there, just like every other 23-year-old quarterback. Sam is the youngest quarterback in the league that's not from this rookie class. So take out the rookie class. Sam's the youngest quarterback in the NFL, 23 years old. You live with him making 23-year-old mistakes. What you don't live with is 30-year-olds with either a rocket with no accuracy or a noodle with no velocity. You can't live with 30-year-olds doing that shit. You can live with 23-year-olds doing it, especially when the 23-year-old has a rocket attached to him. He throws with touch, can layer the ball, has a swagger and the confidence, and he finally got a goddamn haircut. He finally got a haircut that looks the likes of a quarterback one in the NFL. He got his 5 o'clock shadow beard, village people style, as he always does. Sam looking the part. I can't wait to see that boy line up versus the Ravens in those joint practices this summer. But OTAs day 2, man. It's the Cole Turner, Emmanuel Forbes, and Sam Howell show, man. Mitch Titchler talked about a segment of practice where the roller coaster ebbs and flows of a young quarterback. He throws a beautiful seam ball to Cole Turner. Then the next play forces it into double coverage, which we don't mind because practice is the place. There are some quarterbacks. I liked Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins, a thing I didn't like about Kirk Cousins, in practice, he didn't go through the process. In practice, you never extend the play and you never hold on to the ball. Even if it's supposed to be a sack, throw the fucking ball and you throw it in the window that you will not get away with in the game. In practice, you have to prepare for what you can't do in the game. So you throw your picks in practice. Throw in a double, triple, quadruple coverage. Get that shit out of your system in practice so you know when you see the same defensive look on Sundays, it doesn't happen. So he goes from throwing a perfect seam ball to forcing it in double coverage to throwing a beautiful deep ball to Jahan Dotson just after that. The ups are beautiful. The downs are normal to expect of a 23-year-old. There's no quarterback competition here. Let's call it a spade a spade. Jacoby Brissett, great guy. Awesome to have in the QB room. He shared the locker room with many a goats. But unless Sam absolutely pukes himself in the preseason and at these joint practices, or gets the I word, which I'm not going to say here because we're not even speaking that into existence, because I'm sorry, I don't want to go into a season where Jacoby Brissett's my starting quarterback. Say what you want. I'm going to support whoever this team puts out there, but I want to see what this kid out of North Carolina has. You know, one of the most productive quarterbacks in the history of the ACC. Had all the UNC quarterback records until this guy Drake May came, because he's probably going to break them all. But we're not talking about a slouch. We're not talking about a raw prospect. We're talking about a refined guy who has all the tools to be a good quarterback in this league. But just how good can he be? And what's that ceiling? We're going to see as the season comes closer. But that's all I got for right now. OTAs week 2, day 2. Them boys are getting after it down in Ashburn. One more day for this week of OTAs, and next week is mandatory minicamp. And then after that, one more, I believe, 2-day session of OTAs. And then it's that 6-week lull where we get nothing until July. And we got to hold it down and be as innovative and creative as possible to keep content going between that time and training camp. But you know your boy's going to always keep it flowing on the channel, always keep it raw, unfiltered, objective, and everything Washington Commanders. If you want that real, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 8,000 subscribers. We're about 700 and some change away. Let's get your boy there. This is where you want to come for all things Washington Commanders if you want to hear it in the way it needs to be told by a fan. Until next time, hail to the Washington Commanders. Commander Rio, out.